Good afternoon. I wanted to say good morning. It is not the morning time. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. I am happy to be here. My voice is up and down, y'all. I'm getting sick. The weather, we had lightning and rain last night, but it was hot outside. And then yesterday, it was cold as hell. We had snow 4 days ago. So I don't know what's going on in the Bay Area, but my body doesn't like it. But let's welcome in James, who's going to co-host with us this episode from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, God.
Yep. Oh, no.
A bitch can't breathe. I'm trying. I also have really bad allergies, and I feel like the two
are coinciding.
They're
yeah.
But it's cool. We still here. All we got to do is talk about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm not going to lie to you. Me and James are going to have some shorter lives today. There's not much to discuss. But I do encourage everybody. I saw 16 people have viewed and a couple people had liked James's video he just did. He just discussed Robert Cosby Jr., who is the son of Mary Cosby, on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which we do cover on James's channel. I do participate in those recaps with him. I do enjoy Mary Cosby a great deal as a housewife. I just want to say on my channel, we offer you condolences as well. And I implore everybody, be respectful. Less is more when it comes to discussing people who've lost a loved one. And I wish her the best. So we'll say that no one should lose their child. Nobody should lose their child. But on another note, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, this episode was titled Problems 24/7. They giving me a headache 24/7 with the way that they are behaving on this doggone show. There's a lot to unpack with not a lot to unpack at all, beautiful people. So let's get into it. I do hope the people who are here, or the people who are watching us when we're no longer live, the replay gang, shout out to y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I also hope that you guys do consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. We do appreciate you. Also, in the description of this video are links to James's channel as well as Kiwan JTV, our joint channel, Watch Your Best Friends, Naima Travels, who is my sister and a travel blogger local to the Bay Area, Also Best, Miss Kira Speaks, Delightful Dawn, Kiwan JTV, Shada_MCD, JV Says What, and probably some more people I forgot about. But go support a creator. I put as many as I know in my description boxes, so please consider supporting them. But let's get into this episode. Salma Slim, the local married 304. She's just ashamed to her religion, ashamed to the culture, because she claimed to be a certain form of African. She claimed to be Muslim. She is shaming marriage in more ways than I knew people could shame marriage. And I wanted to see it for Salma Slim. And I wanted to respect her in 24, kind of sticking together as a united front. But at this point, as Bambi said, and Rennie Rucci said, y'all just go home. I'm loving Bambi. Bambi is winning me over the way Dr. Marie Monroe did on Bell Collective. And James will tell y'all, I couldn't stand Marie and them shoulders.
Marie, them finger waves and shoulders.
I couldn't stand her. Could not stand her. But you know what? I feel like Bambi is turning on me. I feel like we're watching somebody who's actually growing in real time on a show, and I'm here for it. So shout out to the band for that, Miss Adiz. But 24 Hours is helping Salma rehearse. She's going to have a little showcase that he's putting together. I was not aware that he was managing her, because when we were introduced to Salma and 24 Hours, we were introduced to them as a part of Scrappy's newfound adulting. You know, he paid his bills, he got that house, and he had an artist and is trying to start a label. So I'm thinking Salma was signed through Scrappy, and because she knew him through her husband, that maybe that's what she was doing. Turns out 24 Hours, her husband is her manager, which, okay, makes sense. But I always think it's a terrible idea when your husband's managing you, i.e. Latasha Scott. It's never a good idea, because Rocky, was he not the worst spouse of a manager that one could have?
I just feel like the things that they were alleging about him, and then look at where her career is today. Do y'all hear about Latasha Scott? Escape is still touring. She ain't in it. So I mean,
And she can't get paid either. And if she do, they're gonna garnish her. So that's what
they,
her ass get. And she forgot about gospel real quick. I see the clip of her backing it up on Rocky on stage. I said, they don't do that when we stomping the Kirk Franklin. What's wrong with you, Latasha? But I was here for y'all who didn't know, go watch Kim Pyre's reviews of the SWV Escape show because he cracked me up when their mama said, I am the fifth member. I said, not you, the fifth member, but he got recording.
That's a whole nother problem for a whole nother day, y'all.
He put it on a recording. I said, I will always stand for Kim Pyre for that. I always stand for that. Also, support Kim Pyre. Yes, support anybody black. Please support them. But Selma's performing and talking and rehearsing about her performance, and she feels like 24 hours is not putting in the work that she would want her manager to put into her career. I said, you ungrateful bitch. Every time I want to like Selma, she does and says something that's entirely crazy. And I'm just like, I can't get with it. I can't get into it. I can't. I just cannot. But 24 hours also kind of responded in a way that made me see the cracks in the foundation of their marriage and why she may be out there cheating. Because he was kind of like, I mean, you haven't had to work. You haven't had to have a 9 to 5. So what's the problem? I got to do what I got to do for us. And I'm like, bro, she's telling you that she wants you to do a better job as her manager. And she should be able to tell you that because right now, this is not your wife. This is your artist. And I just don't understand why they can't separate the two. I mean, I do get it, but it shows a lot with 24 hours when someone's telling you they need more from you, especially your wife, and you're just kind of dismissing it like, no. Bitch, you ain't got to work. Be grateful. Like, that's not the attitude that you should have. He also seems to assume and manipulate things. Like, he goes to the extreme. So she's like, I want you to understand. I want to do my ventures and things like that. At 24 hours, it's like, okay, you want to do what you do? Then I guess I got to quit my job for you to do what you want and be happy. I'm like, wait, what? Who said you have to quit? Why can't you both be bosses together? I do my thing on YouTube. Mr. Best has his own separate thing that he does on YouTube with his creativity. I work in a field of work. He's in an entire differently field. Who says you can't be two bosses together? That's the goal of marriage. That's literally the point. So I'm looking at 24 like, huh? But then I'm looking at Salma and I'm like, he is the reason you're on this show. He is the reason you connected to Scrappy. He is the reason that you have got signed. He is the reason that you have money. He is the reason that you can afford the time to put into your career. So I'm looking at both of them like, huh? Like, is it just me? Please chime in.
No, it's given Tamar and Vince. Like, if y'all remember in the earlier stages of when Tamar launched her music career and Vince was kind of giving her a hard time, mainly because Vince had other bigger artists that he was managing at the time. And I don't know if he didn't think Tamar was really all that serious, or I didn't know if he just didn't want her to be. I don't know what that, because I don't really remember. But I just remember Vince was truly like hesitant at first about being Tamar's manager and doing this and all this. So for me with Selma, I just think that I think she's a lot and it would take a lot of energy. And especially if he's also producing and doing his own thing and stuff, I just think it's just an energy thing. I just think that he truly does not know how to, manage his time well, where she can get all the things that she needs and then he can be able to do the things he needs and also maintain their lifestyle. I just think that he doesn't know how to do both, which is fine because he's only human and there's only one of him. So I get it, but at the same time, I feel like this should have been a deeper conversation before getting her signed and then having her come on this show where she wants to now pursue her career. I think that that's kind of unfair to do to her, but at the same time, I understand. So I'm torn. Really, I am. You're muted.
I'm muted. They're both wrong, but they're also both still right. And that is why you always hear people who are in marriages speak about the importance of compromising, because there's always going to be someone wrong and someone right and vice versa. So you got to kind of come together. But we'll see what they figure out. But they got on my nerves from the jump. Now, Spice has a birthday for her son. Her son is 18. This is the son that lives in Jamaica. Spice lives in Atlanta. Okay, Spice. Happy birthday to the boy. I'm glad that he's an adult. Good for him. I thought the gifts were nice. If I could afford to do that for my kids, I absolutely would. That's the goal. But make sure you're spending the time with your kids and actually raising them. Don't just gift them. I don't care how y'all feel about it. And you gifted him an American car. Does he have American citizenship? Does he have an American driver's license? Or is the car being shipped to Jamaica? Those are the only questions I have for her son. But outside of that, happy birthday to him. That's all I really have to say. We're going to move on to her in the studio with her son. Her and Jock's son. I know y'all want to make Spice and Jock a thing and keep them on the show because they are relevant in the industry in real time. She's an actual artist. She's actually talented, but she's actually boring. When she's not fighting with the ladies like a ratchet ragamuffin who's lost her mind and turning Love and Hip Hop into a Zeus special that no one asked for, she's not that interesting. Now that people have been calling her out on stuff, I kind of feel like, Spice, your career is back. You came on the show to revive your career. Your music career is back. I will forever say this and will keep saying it. Spice needs to leave Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She is above all of them, musically, professionally, and I feel like her being on the show brings her down. In addition to that, she can't give us much. I didn't really care about this scene with her son. I'm not even going to comment on someone's first song that they've ever recorded by themselves because it's not fair. It's his first. So I'm going to leave that there. James, if you want to add anything to Spice's son scenes, feel free.
I really don't have. I'm happy that she's able to do this for her son as well. I wish they would have expanded on whether or not he wanted to come to the U.S. and live here full time. I wish there would have been conversation around that, especially if he's pursuing the music. I would have loved to hear her say that. Also, Jock in his confessionals talking about, my kids who ain't 18 yet, when you turn 18, don't get no ideas. I hope you're not watching this. And it's like, well, Jock, don't have so many kids then if this is the issue. I'm just saying, like...
Well, people with kids, no shade, y'all, but they never want to hear about anything that aligns with a mistake that led to the kid being there, because then they come with, oh, I don't regret my baby. Every baby is a blessing. Ain't nobody saying that, but, be careful with how many blessings you choose to bring in, because you may not be able to offer your own blessings to your kid.
I'm just saying, yeah. You got too many of them. So when he was saying that, I was like, to me, for you to even say that as a parent, telling your kids don't get no ideas, regardless if you're joking or being serious, no kid wants to see you at a party for an 18-year-old getting 18 gifts, including a vehicle, and for you to sit there and tell your kids on the national TV on the same show, don't get no ideas. It's like, wow.
It's like, wait, what?
What? That's like, why would you even? Yeah, like that was the only thing I had an issue with in between the two scenes. I like the advice that they gave, and I love the whole, instrument of the studio. But I was just so stuck on that confessional talking about Spice Blight, all this one kid, all these presents and stuff. Look, my kids, I love y'all. Don't get no ideas, and then I'm like, oh Lord.
Jock. And it's funny, if he would have had all of those kids with one woman, it probably wouldn't even be that bad of a situation. But when you got multiple baby daddies and baby mamas, as quiet as it kept, y'all, that shit will never be a flex. It just looks like people just kept making the crazy decision over and over and over.
It just
never learned from it.
Yeah, it just makes it seem like you just wanted to have continuous access to one person.
It makes
and y'all feel like when y'all have a kid, that means you continuously have access, and seeing a lot of y'all women fall for that. So I can't really blame the man. Like, if y'all would give him the kid and then close it up and say, nope, here your baby. Have a good day. It wouldn't be no problem.
Lord. Hi, Shani. I see you're able to comment now. I'm happy to see that that's working. For those unsure what's going on, there's been some type of issue on YouTube. People are not, like, they'll comment, but we as creators will not always see it. Apologies to y'all for that. If that happens to you, just exit and come back. But I'm happy to see you here, Shani. Ciao. But yeah, Jock, that joke, Jock irritates me, but okay, Jock, Where's Grandma Jaws? That's all we care about. Now, Kirk and Rashida finally discussed their son. So for those who are unaware, a couple months back in 2025, it was all over social media, all over the press, the tabloids, everywhere that you could report that Kirk and Rashida's son, Kai, is this the son that she was pregnant with on the show that he denied?
No,
Older baby.
That's their older child. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, because the other one's got another name.
Yeah.
Anywho, but their son Kai, I believe that's their oldest son together. He got into a kerfunkle, as Judge Judy would call it. But it's a lot more than that. So Kelsey, who is Kirk's daughter, that he had with somebody else, not Rashida. We've seen her and her little voice on the show. We've seen all of their kids. Kelsey was in a relationship with a young man who was also a local Atlanta rapper who ended up being unalived. The person who unalived him was Kirk and Rashida's son, Kai. The reason that Kai allegedly unalived this gentleman is because I'm not going to say allegedly, there has been footage released of this man choking Kelsey out in her sleep, choking her when she's minding her business, beating her. He was violently abusing Kelsey. Their relationship involved a lot of domestic violence. Kelsey's brothers found out about that and did what most brothers would do. They stepped for their sister. If I call my brothers and tell them that Mr. Best will not keep his hands off of me, or if I call my father, my cousins, my family would be in the exact same situation. I don't want to choose sides whatsoever because all the people engaged in this scandal are not actual cast members of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Their parents are. So Kirk and Rashida don't have a storyline anymore. They haven't for some time because we know that she just accepts his cheating. I feel like her, Kirk, and Jasmine all have an arrangement. As people started to catch on to that, they don't really have much to discuss. So they got messy with Yandy and stuff. And then this happened with their kid. Rashida and Kirk come on the camera. And at first I think it is a regular scene, but they discuss that Kai's being investigated for murder. And Rashida, are you going to apologize to K. Michelle and every other victim of domestic violence out there? Now, Kelsey did not deserve what she went through in the abuse, but it's interesting how you couldn't have empathy for K. Michelle and her abuse, even though it was found that the dude who was abusing her, who you were defending on behalf of your friend, who your friend ended up leaving because he was doing the same things to K that he was doing to her. Like, Rashida has stood on the fact that she will never apologize to K. Michelle for that and doesn't see the error in her ways about feeling away about a woman going through domestic violence and trying to accuse her of it being a lie. But now that it's happened to someone in your own family, now you're doing this fake ass disingenuous scene. And I don't know how to feel about it. I feel for Kelsey. The only person in this situation that I feel for is Kelsey because she lost someone she cared about. The family is publicly shaming her. The public is publicly shaming her family. And in addition to that, that man was whooping her ass. So I absolutely feel bad for her. That is a lot to process at one time. What I do not like and who I do not feel bad for is Kirk and Rashida because they was letting them kids run amok. And they was so busy in their own drama, making different babies and cheating on each other and all this crazy stuff that I feel like he doesn't keep a relationship close enough with his child for her to want to talk to him about that or for him to suspect anything. I could be wrong, but I just don't feel sorry for them. So Rashida sat with Shirley, who I can't unsee her sitting on Kirk's lap in that video from months ago, but they sitting with Charlene, whatever the hell Rashida's mom's name is, and they're talking about it. And I guess we're supposed to feel sorry for this family. Y'all didn't lose nobody. Kelsey is alive. Kai is alive. All your kids are alive. They sat there and they gave one line like, oh, I feel really bad for what that other family's going through. No, y'all fucking don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have gone on television and talked about it. And I understand that they may have felt like they had to talk about it because they're on TV, but no, you don't. No, you don't. Leave the show if that's the case. Because to say only one time you feel for the other family while then trying to get everybody else to be sympathetic to your family is crazy. There's no winning. I feel like they should not have spoke on this until their son went to court. there's nothing to say because what can you say? So I don't know. The conversation felt disingenuous. It felt overproduced. But prayers to Kelsey. Kai, you shoot somebody in the back, you got to expect you're going to be investigated. You could have whooped his ass. You could have took off on him. You could have done a lot of things outside of shooting him. And that's probably how the government is looking at it too. So I wish him the best. But why did he even have a gun? Like, your parents are Kirk and Rashida. You didn't grow up in the hood. You didn't grow up needing a weapon. You didn't grow up at risk. You ain't got no real ops. You ain't really in the street. And yes, you can have a weapon legally, but when you legally get a weapon, there are things you have to do to get it and shoot training and all of that. So to shoot someone in their back when they're not coming at you, it does not look good, allegedly. So that's all I'll say. How do you feel about Kirk and Rashida's scene and Charlene?
It's unfortunate. Deepest apologies for y'all feelings and hurts, but I really don't have anything for them. I really don't, just because, once again, and we'll get to another thing with them where I have more of an opinion, but I just feel like, for me, if I had not known what was going on in the blogs and I had not reported on the story on my channel, I would have thought someone had died. The way and their family, not the boy's family, it's about in their immediate family. I would have thought someone had died in their immediate family. Because to me, and I get Kelsey is hurting over this because I know she feels a lot of different ways. I understand that she and her brother are not on speaking terms. I know that is difficult, but she is just in a moment of grief right now. People do crazy things. People do things that they would not normally do if they were not grieving. So just allow her peace. Allow your son to feel what he's feeling and move on. But y'all don't have to go through all of this distraught. Because the situation, realistically, I hate to say this because these are y'all kids, but these situations realistically ain't had nothing to do with either one of you. And if it was the case, if y'all knew something was happening, why didn't y'all step in? Why did she have to call her brothers?
Yeah, that's the part for me that people aren't connected. She called her brothers, not her dad. I'm not going to call my brothers. I'm going to call my dad if something pop off. But I don't know. There's a lot of strange things. There's not another scene in this episode with Kirk and Rashida. That's all I'm going to discuss on this live. Because you had mentioned some commenting on another scene with them, but there won't be. So if you got to get it out now, because I'm not coming back to Kirk and Rashida.
Oh, no, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I see what you mean. The only other thing I will say is that, I just feel like, to me, once again, why not call the police? That was what I was going to say in the future. Why not call the police? If this was really an issue that she was really feeling for her life, feeling for her safety, why not call the police? And y'all need to stop with this, well, we don't want to put a black man in jail and this and this and that. Listen, it's not about that.
I think outside of that, I'd just like to, not Mrs. Best, but Amina, the professional, for a second. Domestic violence, a lot of women don't call the police, which is unfortunate. There's a great deal. There's something called the cycle of abuse that people go through in domestic violence. And this applies to women, men, whoever goes through it in a relationship. But one of the outcomes of that cycle is a lot of people are manipulated into feeling like they don't want to call, or manipulated into feeling like the person just had a moment of being angry. So it is very common, actually highly common, for people to not call the police. So with Kelsey, I can understand her not calling. Now, on the brothers' end, though, why didn't y'all call for your sister? Now, that's the part that I'm like, the brothers should have called, because
somebody should have called. I get what you're saying.
Outside of Kelsey should have called. The victim, I'll never fault them for not calling, but if James's sister, he does have a sister, but if his sister, and she's not in this type of situation, but if his sister were to call him and be like, he's hitting me, I don't know what to do, I'm scared, he won't stop, I can guarantee y'all that James is going to call the police. He'll call family also, but he's going to call the police instead of putting himself or his family in a situation where they take justice into their own hands and then you end up locked up. And something you brought up that's important. People do say, oh, I don't want to put a black man in jail, right? But would you rather put somebody in jail by calling the police, or would you rather have a black man dead and now a black man that may be headed to jail? So
Exactly.
it's like that
It's
situation was
like
handled wrong with the family as a whole, and it is a reflection of Kirk and Rashida and how you raised your son, because this boy lacks critical thinking in ways that I could not even imagine. Because when I seen the little sketches when we talked about it on your channel, he shot that man in his back. His back was turned to you. So you in Georgia, even in California, you'd have a hard time getting off. You just would. So.
I just feel like we need to stop with the narrative that a black man has to be accountable for his actions. Something that Stacey Rush said on Real Housewives of Potomac when she was saying that calling a black woman aggressive and how that has a bad connotation. Stacey said it best. She said, "I am aware that that has a horrible connotation as a black woman. She understands that she should not be putting it out there. However, the other person who is being accused of being aggressive has to have accountability to not be that way naturally." And I think the same thing goes for people. Like, there's no reasons for you to put your hands on anybody, especially someone that you're in an intimate relationship with. There should be no reason for you to do that. So if you do catch yourself doing it out of frustration or anger, maybe there needs to be some way that you treat the anger. And that's why I said Black people need to get out the mindset that therapy is bad, because then we have situations like this where maybe therapy could have probably benefited, because maybe the anger that he has could have been, resolved or maybe taken out on the entity that gave it to him. That's all I'm saying. So no, we need to start having better conversations and a bigger thought process surrounding these types of situations versus automatically thinking, well, okay, well, it's normal. Don't call the police, call your family. They'll handle it. No, that's not what we need to do.
Yeah. And if being in the public is what made Kelsey feel like she needed to call her brother over the police, because that's also a possibility, them not wanting to have stuff end up in the blogs because it does reflect negatively on their parents, then they need to leave the show. They need to leave the show. As quiet as it's kept, the stuff that Kirk and Rashida have gone through in their marriage is stuff that would deeply impact children in their decision making. Yes. So hopefully they take accountability, but I don't feel sorry for Kai at all. Not even a little bit. I respect him because you went over there with the intention to stand for your sister, and I respect the hell out of you for that. And I hope that the court shows you mercy, because you were protecting an abused woman, and you were Shut up. Shit. Sorry. I have a cat and he was howling. Lord help us. Black people and our pets, okay? We talk to them like kids, okay? And he's just howling and he knows better. But I definitely feel like that's the only bit and bout of mercy that Kai may see in court, is the fact that he was trying to defend someone. He wouldn't have been there if she didn't call him. So, and I hope the siblings work it out. I do. But that's a hard one. You got to watch your brother literally unalive someone that you cared about, even if you shouldn't have cared about them. It's crazy. And to the family of the victim, I think it's best y'all stay quiet, because I know months ago they was trying to come for the Frost and all of that as well. But you raised a woman beater. Address that. So both sides, both families impacted, they both need to address what's going on, because Kirk and Rashida raised a little girl that obviously didn't have her daddy's love enough to figure out that she is better and deserves better than to be with somebody like that man that was putting his hands on her. And then Kirk and Rashida failed at raising Kai because he has no impulse control, no problem solving skills, and lacks critical thinking to end up in the situation he ended up in. And the other family raised a woman beater. So both families, instead of passing blame and coming at each other on the internet, y'all both failed. And I hope they learn from it and resolve it. But Kirk and Rashida, if this is all y'all got for this season, go straight the fuck to hell. Because you haven't given a shit for seasons except some cruel, evil, unusual stuff. And I'm tired of it. So they can go. Yandy tells everybody she's single. She shares a cry. You want to add anything, James?
No. Because Yandy, you really not that sad about that shit. Go somewhere.
Y'all been broken up since Frederick Douglass was alive. Stop.
I'm trying to tell y'all, this shit is not new. Y'all, I've been stated on my channel for the longest. Like, anytime I review Married to Medicine, anytime I reviewed I even said on Mrs. Best channel, Yandy be out in Ghana with Quad, Angel. I have been saying this for
Before we had a YouTube channel.
Before we had a YouTube channel.
This goes back years, y'all. This goes back to Love and Hip Hop New York season 2. My friend has been saying this about Yandy. Yandy is so full of it.
Yes.
Yandy belongs behind the camera, not in front of one. And I keep saying this, and I used to love Yandy. I use Yell skincare. It works. But like I can't with Yandy, man. I don't care. So I'm sorry they're broken up. You know what you.
My heart hurts for the kids. Okay, I'll be nice. My heart hurts for the kids because they do not deserve. No kid deserves to be in a home where the parents are not together, showing them the showcase of love from both sides. I 100%, hurt for the kids, especially the little baby ones, and even the grown ones. But what I'm gonna say about this is that I hope that they are, I hope they can be like Mauricio and Kyle, people who separate like that, but still all up in each other's faces.
Mauricio and Kyle, I think we need a different example. They actually loved each other enough to legalize the marriage.
Who the hell else we got that actually did not legalize their marriage but played in our faces like this?
Leave her in her own lane of delusion.
Yandy, I was trying to be nice because I thought that would be the ultimate.
And I'm a Yandy stan. James knows I love me some Yandy, but I cannot defend this Yandy. I respect Yandy as a businesswoman. I respect her as an activist in the Black community. I respect her even as a manager in the music industry. She did great things. She did that. But I do not respect Yandy as a reality television star. I do not respect Yandy as a partner to anyone, as a spouse. Because part of being a partner to someone is you either got to be all in from the beginning. It needs to be clear that you was never going to get married, not the pretending stuff. So I can't respect Yandy on TV, but everything else she does, we respect.
Absolutely.
We give her that. I think I fixed it. There we go.
Yes.
Lord. All right. I'm not going over this too much, but Spice goes to see Kirk and Rashida, and they pull you're the only one that's come to check on us. Nobody died in your family. Your son free. He can afford an attorney. That's probably, if he does get convicted, not going to get much time. And ain't nobody beating Kelsey's ass no more. And nobody liked Frost Bistro anyway. Y'all had weak ass Yelp and Google reviews. So don't try to make us, we had to close our restaurant, and the restaurant was always closed anyway, according to the streets of Atlanta. Do y'all realize Atlanta has some of the worst rated? Atlanta and Miami have some of the worst rated food and food service and customer service that you will receive in this country. Rashida, you were part of that. That restaurant was going to close either way.
And as someone who lived in Miami, I can speak to the Miami situation, because unless you was in the hood adjacent, you were not getting the quality of food anywhere else. No, but I feel like it's that way everywhere. Like when I went to Cancun, worst Mexican food I've had in my life. But when I go to Ensenada, when I went to Juarez, or even Tijuana, Baja California, best Mexican food you could ever imagine. Because they just servicing people they know ain't coming back, the tourists. So we don't care, Rashida and Kirk. But I don't really have much to add. Good for you, Spice, for going over. Did you want to add anything to their little? No, I said it in the previous scene because you said you were going over this scene.
I don't want to go over it again.
We can go forward.
Yeah, thank you, God. I just don't like Kirk and Rashida. I've been having a really hard time, even last season, like discussing them.
It's just with Yandy. I feel like Mona owed them some money and they needed to stay on the show, because there's no way that they're given top tier quality storyline for them to be here all this damn time. I feel like they're a staple in Atlanta. And, they're part of the cool girls clique. Well, Rashida is, because she's friends with Candy, Tiny, Toya Wright, and all of them. So, of course, she's a staple. So, yes.
You take away who Rashida is friends with, though, a lot of that hoorah and hoopla goes away. No shade. Mm-hmm. It does. Because the word on the curb is she's an expensive-ass rainbow. That's what pressed is being called. So, I let it go. Ain't nothing wrong with rainbow. $10 fare flats for after the club. What you mean?
All my girlfriends, let me tell y'all, they need to get a
Rainbow
quick
and City
outfit.
Trends.
They need to get a quick outfit because we got to go somewhere that got a color scheme. Trust me, Rainbow is there, and they're gonna start for to change in the bathroom. Trust me, I didn't think that
Rainbow, City Trends, DD's, and Ross are on your side at when you need last minute clothing. But the next thing we see is Salma's performance. This is where all hell kind of broke loose. She performed. I'm still with Erica Banks. Selma's not a bad artist, but I don't care for her sound. And I do see how she would be kind of different and difficult to collab with because it seems like she needs that slow, gritty trap beat.
She does. I was going to say that because the way when I heard her, it was like the beat did not match her rap. It was like, wait, what?
She raps like a trap Atlanta rapper, which I give her, but it's nothing special when you have so many people coming out. And also female rappers right now that are out can really spit. Lotto was on a kids competition for being a dope lyricist and writer. Megan Thee Stallion can out freestyle and outbar everybody. We saw her double XL freshman freestyle years ago. Like there are several female rappers out right now. Doechii, Asian Brat. Like there's several of them that can really, really rap on any beat. So I hope Selma figures it out. But I had to say to myself, this chick is ungrateful. You say this man ain't doing enough for you as a manager, but we see Jazzy Faye and Drummer Boy, which are some of the biggest producers for millennials. If you a millennial, you remember Drummer Boy and Jazzy Faye from, I would say, anywhere from 1990 something on to probably the 2010s, and they're still doing big things. So I'm like, wow, he's got some big like Atlanta like royalty here for you. And we hear that they're on your EP because of your husband. But you need a new manager? Okay, Selma. Okay. But she performs, she does okay. And after her performance, she expresses some anger. And I'm looking at Selma. And Selma, why would you think that you could talk negatively about a bitch to a bunch of her friends? Right. That's like if somebody went to James and just talked a bunch of crap about me or vice versa. Why would you go to someone's friend to try and talk crap about them?
And I'm gonna tell y'all, it would have happened a little bit differently than this scene. I'm just saying that if someone comes to me about Mrs. Best in my face, it wouldn't have been very calm. It would have been.
It's like you could express yourself. But she was like, that bitch is weird. I don't mess with that bitch. And they were all like, okay, well, let's not. Like, they were trying. And I do like that about this cast. They're like, okay, we got a job to do. It's a show, so I got to engage with you. I can't just pick sides. However, you can't just be calling my friend about her name and whatnot. So I was like, okay, they handled it the way they could. And next thing you know, we see Scrappy. Because everybody's giggling. We see Scrappy go up to 24 hours. He's like, hey, can I rap with you right quick? He's like, I want to get away from the cameras. You know, Scrappy ain't smart. He not too sharp. So he said, I want to get away from the cameras, forgetting he was mic'd up and you've been on this show since 2011, this premiered. And you don't understand and can't remember that you still mic'd even when you're not in front of the camera, Scrappy. He does this every couple of seasons too. Scrappy does this every couple of seasons. I want to cover you with the cameras not here. He's always doing this. And I'm looking at it like, this is why your auntie had to help you with your credit so you could get a house, Scrappy. Because what did Tiffany's mom say, New York's mom said, it's not clicking. It's not clicking. Like, how do you forget that you're mic'd? But okay, Scrap. But Scrappy forgets he's mic'd. He talks for 24 hours. He just asks him, hey, what you really believe? He's like, do you believe your wife is cheating or not? And 24 is like, you know, it is what it is. He not tripping. But then 24 also made it his mission to say to us that Selma was just messaging the guy the night before. And apparently it's nothing even like that. And he thinks dude just wants screen time on the show. Ooh, I'm all blurry. I don't know what the heck is wrong with this StreamYard cameras. But
you're not blurry to us. You're just blurry to yourself.
Okay, who knows?
Because I just looked on the phone and we're clear.
Okay,
that's why I went off camera because I was like, wait, I'm blurry too. And then when I looked it up on my phone, I said, oh no, it's fine.
Okay, StreamYard, don't play with me. I pay for 4K streaming. Don't come for me unless I send for y'all. But essentially 24 is like, oh, she was texting him. If your wife is alleged to be cheating on you with somebody, why would she still be able to text him? My man would be like, your phone number is changed so that nobody could even think to come at us with this rumor. But 24, you just like your wife texted him and you assume that dude just wants camera time. If he wanted camera time, why wouldn't he have done this to any other person on the show? He could have done this to Rashida. He could have done this to Yandy. He could have done this to Carly. He could have done this to Scraps Girl. He could have done this to Bambi. He could have done this to anybody on the show. So 24, stop BSing us. Stop BSing us. How did you feel about Scrappy pulling him aside? Because at this point, I'm like, he's never going to admit it.
He's a glutton for punishment. So I feel like, to me, this gives that he's insecure because, as you said, that's weird. If I found out my husband is texting somebody who everyone is saying he's allegedly cheating on me with, because they have no proof either way, they just have some text messages, that's not enough for me. I need to see video court footage, or I need to see quality traits of character of that. But what I'm saying is, even still, the text message is enough for me to say, hey, cut that shit out. That's how I feel. So I don't know. I don't understand 24. I don't. I tried. And I said this last season. I'm like, I'm really confused by him because it's given like he was okay with it. And I'm like, was I reading that energy wrong?
No, you read that energy correctly, because at first I was like, I was kind of thinking like Bambi, which we'll get into later, where maybe he's embarrassed and just don't want to admit it publicly. Maybe he's addressing it behind closed doors. And then after watching the beginning of the episode, I was like, okay, that could actually be happening, because they seemed like to have some tension at the beginning of the episode. But then at the end of it, I was like, huh? 24? So what ends up happening is Sierra and Zay arrive higher than our parents in the 70s. Okay. I had to come up on this camera. Okay. Higher than our parents in the 70s. Y'all see the memes trending online on TikTok and Instagram right now, talking about if I was born in the 70s or 80s, it would have been a problem. You just see somebody put their face into a mountain of Scarface, we'll call it, so I don't get demonetized. I'm trying to tell you, Sierra has been high and lit allegedly all season. Her eyes don't barely stay open. The way she was moving, she said, because I want to, with her eyes closed. I said, oh, girl, you high as hell. What's going on? It seemed like ever since the wine and the pills and the miscarriage, Sierra's been on something. I don't think Zay is good for her. And I'm going to repeat that. I do not think Zay is good for Sierra. She seems like she be lit all the time and not able to really think. And we know she don't choose good men. So I'm going to just say that. But they come in messy. They go and they talk to 24 and Salma. And I was like, who the fuck invited them? Why are they here? This is not a cast thing. This is a Salma Slim event. They just got into it. Why are they here? And it comes out that Scrappy invited them. I said,
here we go.
You broke ass overproducing. You doing whatever you can to keep people on this show, to where you're going to invite someone to your artist show who you know your artist is not cool with. But Salma want to be mad at her husband. We'll get to that. So Scrappy's the one who invites her, and they exchange words. Sierra's talking to Salma, and I did laugh when Sierra was like, yeah, so we met. And 24 was like, oh, okay. And she's like, no, we met just me and her. And you didn't know that? Oh, it's probably a lot you don't know. I said, bitch, you high as hell or drunk. But she was funny as fuck for saying that, because that was major shade. It's probably a lot you don't know about your wife. If you say that to anybody married, that is shade. And if they want to fight you, do not be surprised.
Right.
Do not be surprised. Like, that's crazy. But Sierra and Zay were kind of crazy in their talk. But where things went left is Sierra started to address 24 hours. Talk to her. You kept addressing her husband, but then if her husband addressed you, you had a problem with it. And then Zay started to have a problem with it. Then Sierra started to say stuff about Salma cheating on 24, making it seem like she cheating on him because he big and probably got a little shrimp dick, which I believe. I'm sorry.
Anywho.
Let me tell you something about a Gemini. Y'all may not like our ways, but you gonna know how the fuck we feel. And we know we may be on some bullshit, but you gonna know how we feel. Look at the president, okay? He's a Gemini too. And when I say Sierra is right, I think that really is what it is with 24. And I feel like he might feel that way, and that could be why he's insecure. But if you love your husband, shrimp or not, you're gonna, I guess, stick beside him with a great sex toy or something, I would imagine. But you know, that seemed to irritate 24. Sierra says something to him, and then, you know, he says to Zay, hey, tell your hoe or something to be quiet. And Zay's like, don't call my girl a hoe when your bitch talking to my brother. And, you know, words were exchanged. Now, when Zay said to 24, I watch my brother fuck your wife, I said, huh? What kind of, even in an argument, what kind of relationship you got with your brother? Sierra, blink if you're okay. Blink twice.
For real, because that was weird. I was like,
that was highly fucking weird. And then how he responded to her miscarriage, and then that.
It was like, no.
You're a married man. Why are you watching anybody fuck anybody? Unless it's on the pornography website. What are we doing?
But we have to put emphasis that this is his brother. Like, I'm not watching any of my siblings fuck. Like, no, that's not happening.
I haven't seen any of my siblings naked since before I had a period. I'm just looking at things a little differently. Sierra, evaluate your marriage, boo.
Please,
it's time.
Do us all a favor and do that, because there's no way that would have been the conversation, and that's what it came out of his mouth. And I'm sitting over there like, I probably go, what the fuck? But anyways, yeah.
I don't know how many people caught that, but for me, that was weird. But after he says that, 24 loses his mind and takes off and fell his big ass to the floor. And I said, you know, 24, the worst thing you could do is take off on a nigga and fall. And as a female, the worst thing you could do is take off on a bitch and fall. If you go take off on somebody, make sure you got sturdy ground, especially if you was in tennis shoes. So I'm like, are you really a fighter? What's going on? But he took off on Zay. Can't really blame him, but be mad at your wife, bro. She put you in a situation. She did something where there's smoke, there's fire. Rumors don't just come about. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Your wife conducted herself in a way that made you embarrassed. Your wife embarrassed you as a couple, as a union. She embarrassed your marriage. She embarrassed herself. And not admitting to it is not going to do anything. I am opposite of James. I believe the receipts. I'm going to say I believe the receipts based on how they've been described. We haven't seen anything on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta really to substantiate them, but everyone's saying they saw time dates and stamps and stuff. So based on what they're saying, I'll say I believe it. The second reason I believe it is because of the reaction from 24 and Salma. When people deflect this hard or get this angry, it's because you've triggered them, and it probably really did happen. So it gets worse because at the end of the fight, after Sierra and her man leave, Salma gets mad at 24 hours, which threw me. She was like, come sit here, bitch, to Carly. I'm like, wait, what? You're not going to leave with your man? You want Carly to sit down while you complain about your man on camera after your actions have already embarrassed him on camera, you simple, stupid fucking bitch? You know how many women out here and men would love to be married? But do you know how many of them would love to be married and have someone that will stand beside them and fight even when there is evidence in the form of text messages and Uber receipts proving that you have done them wrong, and they still stick beside you? You know how many people will want that? And you over here mad at him for defending your honor? And then 24, why do you keep calling Sierra a bitch? Your bitch is the bitch. Sierra may have had her fucked up, but Sierra did not come at her hard. She exposed some shit, but if it wasn't Sierra, somebody else was going to expose it. Atlanta is small, I've heard. Like, you cannot do this. So I'm looking at it, and I'm Rennie, Rucci, and Bambi. Everybody go the fuck home. You've done enough. Y'all need to go inside, stay inside, spend some time around each other, let everybody forget about this, go home.
Right,
and do
because
what married people do.
This is crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. And
This
for this
is.
to be the only interesting thing in the episode. But how do you feel about these people?
I feel like to me, I feel like Selma's very disrespectful because not only did this man facing public humiliation on your part and his for that fall, I have to be really remiss to say that I don't think you blaming him or you getting angry at him was the right cause, regardless of what the outcome or what you supposedly had did. That's not on him. He was defending your honor as your husband. And that's what he was supposed to do. And you were supposed to glorify that honor because there's some men who won't defend their wives on national TV and make them look stupid. So the fact that you got one that was willing to make a fool of himself, man, you got gold. He don't want for nothing. He probably don't ask for much. He just wants you to be his wife. He wants you to be the arm candy. This is what I tell about when men get women out of their league. They do great. They do goofy shit like this, and it's y'all women that treat them like this. Toya Bush Harris is another one that treat our man all type of wrong on TV. So it's just like y'all need to stop doing this. I'm telling y'all got good men, and y'all sitting up here. Unless he got some fuck shit with him too, which hasn't been exposed, which I don't know. But until that shit is exposed, I'm going to say, hey, he all right in my book.
It's just like the more that Selma, I think the worst thing Selma could have done is talk to Sierra. The worst thing Selma could have done is talk to Sierra. Because Sierra, of course, is just going to make it bigger. If you give a Gemini content, baby, we're going to give you a show. So, and that's why a lot of people don't like us. But that is the worst thing that Selma could have done is talk to Sierra or try to reason with somebody. You can't reason with somebody. Sierra got a different man every season, damn near herself. So, the love and chaos of Atlanta, y'all. If you want real love, do everything opposite you see on these shows. That's the best advice I could give the world.
Right.
Oh, God. But that is really it, unless James has anything he wants to add. That was pretty much the episode. It gave us a lot to talk about, but there really wasn't much that happened. Obviously, if I have to skip over Yandy, Spice, and the Frost, they all need to go. They just do. They don't have nothing to give. Carly's giving more than anything. Carly was funny walking away from 24. Ciao.
With that bob.
I said, K. Michelle, you better have Carly Red on Housewives of Atlanta. If we're going to do it, may as well do it all the way. Because Carly Red in age actually matches Housewives of Atlanta. And I would love to see her interact with Angela Oakley, who would probably be like, just tell us your real age. Like, I would love to see her interact. But the episode was cool. So far, I'm loving Bambi this season. I am enjoying heavily. That's really it thus far. Carly Red, she was funny and a key, but I can't say I've enjoyed her yet. You got to wait till the end of the season to judge.
Right,
Carly.
you got to, because she'll do some fuck shit in the middle of the season, and you'd be like, oh, God damn.
You'd be like,
I was rooting for your ass, and now here you go.
Where's the time? We were all rooting for you.
Right.
Oh, Lord. Anywho, y'all, that is it for this live. The next lives that will be on my channel will be on Friday. We will be going over Housewives of Beverly Hills with James. I'll get a pre-record up on the Valley for the season finale. I don't think it's going to give. I don't know if James is still watching it. If you decide to join, feel free, but I'm not.
Just let me know where it is. I am going to watch it, so just let me know.
Ooh, the Valley.
Yeah, just let me know when you do it, and I'll make some time for you.
The Valley, though, you guys, I am not doing those live anymore. I will be having those just up on YouTube as a pre-recorded video where we go over the review, but we will still be engaging with people in the chat. Outside of the Valley and the Housewives of Beverly Hills, we'll have Love During Lockup on Saturday. And then James will have Bell Collective on Saturday as well. And then he's also going to have a live where we discuss our favorite reality TV fights, which I still have to choose 5. I've only chosen 1 thus far.
She gotta do her homework, y'all, because that's going live tomorrow. So she got to.
I probably watch more networks than him, and I'm choosing from like.
It doesn't matter. Anything that's reality TV wise, I don't
know.
care if I've never heard of it.
Like, I'm overwhelmed because there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones. But we are going to have a fun live on his channel on Thursday to go over that, which is tomorrow. I will try to put together something for Watch Your Best Friends, maybe like a game or something, video we could record or something. Did he freeze? Oh, no, there you are.
No, I know. I can freeze him. Okay.
This is my computer probably. But other than that, you guys be on the lookout for content from both of us. Link is in the description to everybody who we support. Other than that, we will see you guys next time, and we appreciate you for watching. Good night.
Good night.